Is Automobilista 2 the racing sim to scratch your racing itch? Find out right here, right now. Greetings Rommies and welcome to RomRom, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing and to a regular review of sims, racing games and whatever could interest you. Welcome to the channel, my name is Serta and I will be your host for this video. To help you decide for yourself if it's the sim for you, let us show you what Automobilista 2 can and cannot do. Created by Brazilian company Reza, the sim started life with the codebase and the gaming engine that had powered Project Cars 2. But it has moved far beyond the Project Cars 2's relic in oh so many ways. It unquestionably has a life of its own now. The physics in Automobilista 2 are incredibly good, as is the force feedback. Reza have spent about a year adjusting the car physics, correcting the many issues found in the Project Cars 2 code, the so-called Madness engine, and adding a lot of very detailed physics nuance to the engine, including out there stuff like engine torque, as well as a detailed concept of thermodynamics. This sim is made by people who are mad about the details. Also, over the years they found some critical bugs in the Madness engine that were affecting the realism of the engine. Starting with the 1.4 update and the recent 1.5 update, a lot of these have been rectified and now the sim is more realistic and enjoyable than ever. The style of the graphics is slightly more on the game-y side of more serious simulators like Assetto Corsa Competizione for example, but the models are excellent and the on-track action has enough details and lacks the poor post-processing effects of Assetto Corsa Competizione that it really isn't distracting even on lower graphic settings. The virtual reality support is excellent and works like a charm as it did in Project Cars 2. Whatever your headset, we can heartily recommend giving Automobilista 2 a look. For a while, mods for Automobilista 2 were few and far between and the way to add them to the sim was arduous to say the least. Luckily, not only has Reza made it clear that they have begun the process of supporting mods as far as technically possible, projects like the Automobilista 2 Content Manager are making it extremely easy to add them to the sim. Liveries and other extensions are now within reach. While there are still some constraints and nowhere near as many mods as there are for the more established R-Factor 2 or Assetto Corsa, the development and release of mods for Automobilista 2 is speeding up. We'll have to see how far it goes and how well Reza can support mods and their makers, but things are moving in the right direction for those wishing to improve the variety of their game. Automobilista 2 is in active development and as of 2023 and currently Reza are releasing a new update about once a quarter. The update release notes are normally comprehensive and show a will to extract as much as possible out of the game engine, as well as to expand its limits as much as possible. It's impressive what an independent studio can do and has done with such a codebase. And if you don't believe us, we recommend having a look at the most recent patch notes. They will be sure to convince you. Reza has also recently announced a cooperation with Iron Bell's Straight 4 Studios. The Reza improved Madness Plus engine will be used by Straight 4 for their upcoming sequel to the massively successful GT series GT Revival. We expect this cooperation to result in an even better sim for both studios, as there's developers within Straight 4 that developed the original Madness engine. Automobilista 2 has support for different and dynamic weather conditions and any time of the day or night, with a day and night cycle, even historically accurate and real-time weather. No matter which track you choose at no matter what time, you can race in the most realistic weather conditions a sim has to offer at the moment. Automobilista 2 does support multiplayer as a result of its coding heritage, however, its abilities are not as comprehensive as in other sims. Reza are working on it, but it's not a simple upgrade as progress here is slow. Based on their track record in the past, we expect the Bulldogs of Reza to not let go of the issue until they found a good solution. This fact may be the reason why the community of Automobilista 2 racers is limited, although growing slowly and steadily. With support from sites like Just Race, setting up a server has become very easy and more drivers find themselves racing against each other on Automobilista 2. The pricing has always been reasonable. The base sim costs less than €40 and there's a season pack that includes all the DLCs published until about the middle of this year, but that adds a hefty €90 USD to the bill. On the other hand, it includes all the DLCs Reza has brought out since publishing the sim in 2020, which amount to 13, most for the price of €10 USD, some like the two first Racing USA DLCs for €13 USD. All in all, the DLCs are fairly priced in our opinion, especially if you consider that for the track DLCs you're not only getting one track but also historical versions of the same track. Reza also sells the tracks as packs, but this ends up being a complicated thing. Keep a calculator handy if you want to find out how to best buy what you want. Or go for the season pack and be done with it. One thing you have to keep in mind is that there will be no further season passes. Any further DLC will have to be bought one by one, and we expect Reza to at least deliver 2 to 3 more DLCs, more if further license conversations go as well as those in the past. Reza has clearly stated they are not finished with developing content and the sim further. Automobilista 2 supports very diverse types of vehicles, including truck racing, karts, open-wheelers, touring cars and prototypes. Even dirt buggies and rallycross. Quite the choice, but still no stadium Supertrucks, which were part of Automobilista. We're still waiting for them after all these years. One point Reza should correct is that often enough you only have access to one car in series that are comprised of more than one make. We understand it to be an issue with licensing, and Reza have made clear they are working incessantly to get all needed licenses. But be aware that while Automobilista 2 may have your favorite series in their roster, that doesn't mean they have all the cars in that series. While Automobilista 2 has a 24-hour cycle and, as we said, dynamic and real-time weather, the possibility of driver swaps is nowhere to be seen, sadly. Therefore, we cannot really say it's ready for endurance races. Reza have included that feature in their list for the future, but we're still waiting for them to make it happen. Automobilista 2 works very well with Linux using Proton, and we've been told even the graphics look excellent. Patrons help us bring better product reviews and sim racing news. Become our hero by becoming a patron at patreon.com/rumrum. Amongst other perks, becoming a patron will fix your name for posterity like this, but you'll also be able to participate in our podcast recording, get to know what we plan and what we're doing, and will be able to take part in our decisions. A big thank you to our patrons and members. If you come here often, please consider subscribing. So this is what you get and don't get with Automobilista 2. Automobilista 2 has great and detailed physics, in our opinion the best in the market now. May the RF2 fans groan as much as they want, but we think latest, the 1.5 update of Automobilista 2 has surpassed what R Factor 2 offers. Your mileage may vary and all that. Although not in my preferred style, my problem, not theirs, the graphics are very good, the VR support excellent, and therefore the immersion superb. We count the studio as a pro. Automobilista 2 has done gigantic steps toward becoming a sim anybody would want to race, and Reza had and has a good track record for development in the long run. The work they've already done with this sim speaks for itself. They're not in for the money, they are as crazy as we all are about sim racing. Remember, they started as a mod-making group. For them, it's still a passion thing above all else. Not only do we get dynamic, historic and real-time weather, but because Automobilista 2 shares and improves on the code of Project Cars 2, the way it deals with wet conditions is excellent and very realistic. The price is okay, but we understand buying Automobilista 2 and the Season Pass both might look daunting. You may want to wait until there is a sale and you can buy the bundle of both for a little bit over €80 as has happened in the past. Still, the price for the sim as well as the price for the DLCs is very fair in our opinion. All manner of series and tracks, especially considering you get a ton of South American tracks nobody else has, plus the tracks almost everybody else has, plus some Australian ones. If you're into endurance, this sim is sadly not for you. A pity, as the 24-hour cycle with weather conditions like fog at dawn are a clear invitation to have so great endurance races. Oh well, maybe in the future. While the number of Automobilista 2 drivers grows continuously and even surpassed R Factor 2 for the first time in July 2023, it's still small compared to the Moloch's Assetto Corsa and Assetto Corsa Competizione, even if the latter is losing drivers month by month. But as the Automobilista 2 Community Cup and a quick glance at Just Race show, there is more than enough drivers to have enormous fun against other humans. We've mentioned this already, but not having all cars from a series can be a bummer, especially if you'd like to drive one of the cars that is not, or let's say not yet, part of the series. There is no way to put this nicely. Reza promised all licensed content of Automobilista 1 would be in Automobilista 2. Years in, we're still waiting to drive these crazy trucks, which with the force feedback of Automobilista 2 and in VR would surely be bonkers. Automobilista 2 is yet another fine entry in the list of racing sims in what I would call our golden age, and it's aging quite well, propelled by an indie studio that, while not losing sight of the economics of it, has the wish to push always a little further, go that extra mile.